What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Super fun one today. We're gonna be taking you around Folsom, California today. We're gonna be grabbing some coffee. We're gonna be heading around town, take you around to some of our favorite places here in Folsom, California, and we're basically gonna give you everything that you need to know if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Folsom, California. We are Lance and Lauren with L2 Home Group, and on this channel we talk all about what it's like living in Sacramento and the surrounding areas. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We're dropping new videos every week on what it's like to live in Sacramento. Now, on top of making these videos, we are also a real estate team here in California. So as much as we love making these videos, we would love to help you more with all of your real estate needs. So there should be a phone number popping up. We are the ones that answer those phone calls, emails, and text messages.
Folsom is located 22 miles east of Sacramento along Highway 50. Now, one of the main reasons that people like to live in Folsom is because of how conveniently located it is. Now, living in Folsom, you're only 30 minutes outside of Sacramento, and you're only an hour and a half away from Lake Tahoe. Now, Folsom is very different from some of the other surrounding suburbs outside of Sacramento. Now, Folsom's topography has rolling hills, you can find gorgeous views here, and there's a ton of things to do right here in Folsom. Now, if you live in Folsom, you don't have to leave the city to accomplish really anything. They have everything you need right here.
So we're gonna cover a bunch of different topics today. We're gonna go over things to do, shopping, weather, education, employment, and even towards the end, we're gonna talk about some of the housing. But first, let's go grab some coffee real quick at one of our favorite local coffee shops, and then we'll start talking about all the different things that you can do in Folsom. Every time that we come to Folsom, one of our first stops is going to be Coffee Republic. Now, Folsom's going to have one part that's going to be located on the opposite side of the river, and this is where Coffee Republic is. But anytime we come into Folsom, this is one of our first stops. This is one of our favorite places for coffee. We love to get Americanos here, iced coffees. Everything's usually fresh. It's always great. Staff is super friendly.
Now, Folsom has so many different things to do. If you like getting outdoors, being active, playing in the water, going for bike rides or walks or running. During the summer, it gets pretty hot here. And if you like getting outside and getting wet, Folsom definitely has you covered there. They've got Lake Natoma, which is a great place to go out and go paddle boarding or kayaking. You also have Folsom Lake that's close by if you like going boating or wakeboarding or jet skiing. And you also have just down the road the Sac State Aquatic Center, which has a really cool obstacle course and different things that you can do there. So if you like getting outside and cooling off during the hot summer on a day like today, Folsom has you covered. Now, when it comes to getting outside and being active, Folsom also has a ton of different hiking, walking, and biking trails located throughout the city. So around Lake Natoma, there's a ton of different trails that you can go on.
Yeah, so the trail around Lake Natoma is going to be right around 7 to 8 miles. So that's always a good opportunity to get out. People ride their bike out there, they go running out there. Definitely a lot of good activity. The other cool thing about Folsom is, aside from these dedicated parks and trails and different things that you can do, Folsom is very suburban in the sense it's got sidewalks on both sides of the street. So a lot of the neighborhoods are very walkable, they're very safe. So.
Now you also have the Johnny Cash Trail. This trail winds west from the Folsom Historic District and east towards the Folsom Lake Crossing Trail. This is a great place to go out on a Saturday. It's all paved if you want to take your bike out, if you want to go for a walk. It's fun to go grab breakfast and then go for a morning stroll. It's a great place.
Yep, one of our favorite things to do is we like to go to Karen's Bakery that's right there at historic Folsom, right there next to Lake Natoma, and you can hit the Johnny Cash Trail and just go get a nice little walk in right after breakfast. The other cool thing about Folsom, especially in this historic downtown area, is going to be that Folsom does a ton of different events throughout the year. So one of my favorite things that we always love to come to, especially when I was younger, was the Folsom Pro Rodeo. That usually happens the weekend leading up to 4th of July if it doesn't land directly on the 4th of July, but pretty good competition there as it relates to pro rodeo. You've got patriotism at its finest. You've got a guy that jumps out of he skydives into the arena, and he's got a giant flag draping behind him. It's super cool, and it's one of Folsom's best spots if you guys want to go watch fireworks that 4th of July. So another cool thing that's done down here in historic downtown Folsom is the local church, Bayside Community Church, also does an outdoor ice skating rink every year, which is fun. So it can be a little bit cold, but it's one of those things where The family likes to come out, during the holidays and just ice skate under the stars. Now, during the summer months, they also do a twilight concert series. So on Thursday nights, they do a summer concert series where you can check out live bands at the amphitheater that's also located right next to Scott's Seafood, which is a new location. So tons of awesome things that you can do in old historic Folsom or downtown Folsom. Beyond that, you got all your traditional bars that are down on Sutter Street as well too. So you got Folsom Hotel, you got Hacienda, you got Scarlett's, you got Powerhouse Pub. So lots of good restaurants, lots of good things that you can do down on Sutter Street. And then throughout Folsom, there's also some other wine bars and different things that you can check out. The last thing that's one of my favorite things to do in Folsom is going to be Empire Ranch Golf Course. Now, this golf course is Folsom's only golf course, so it is going to be a little bit busier than one of your neighboring cities as it relates to golf courses. So sometimes this golf course you have to book out at least a week in advance. Driving range can be a little bit busy, but gorgeous area of Folsom. For being Folsom's only golf course, it is in excellent shape. 18 holes, cart, walk, whatever you want to do, but it is an awesome golf course to check out.
Now, the next thing we want to talk about is going to be the weather here in Folsom. Now, Folsom is gorgeous and our weather here is awesome. Now, we do have 4 distinct seasons. Right now it's summertime. It's pretty hot here.
And it's been pretty hot this past week as well.
But the cool thing about Folsom, like we said earlier, is that during the hot summers, you can get out, you can cool off in the water. Our summers here typically can have quite a few days over 100 degrees, but it's not a humid heat, it's a dry heat. Now, we also have winter. Now, our winters are going to be a little bit more mild. We do get rainfall. Last year we had a ton of rain, which was awesome for those of you that like to go skiing or snowboarding up in the mountains. So we did get a ton of snow up the hill, but down here we don't see snow. We did have rain, but nothing too crazy. And then in the spring and the fall, it's absolutely gorgeous here, watching the leaves change colors. In the spring, watching the flowers bloom. It's really, really beautiful. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be shopping and restaurants. Now, Folsom has a ton of shopping and a ton of restaurants. Right now, we're at the Palladio in Folsom, which is close to Highway 50. Here you can find a ton of different boutique style stores. You can find some name brand stores as well. And they have a ton of different restaurants here, as well as a movie theater. They also have a Lux movie theater. There's so much stuff right here. Now, some of the restaurants that you can find here, you can find Lazy Dog, they've got Chicago Fire, they've got
Iron Horse Tavern,
you've got Nordstrom Rack, you've got a ton of different boutique style stores. There's a Victoria's Secret, there's White House Black Market. You also have H&M. You have a ton of boutique style stores that are unique to this area. So there's a ton of different shopping opportunities here.
So yeah, it's a super cool outdoor mall, super nice, a lot of good stores here, a lot of great restaurants. We're right next to the movie theater, so this is like where you can grab some drinks, you can watch the movies. It's kind of like a studio movie grill, except it's only for adults, which is kind of nice. So you have to be 21 and up to go to this one. They've got a daycare center over here. They've got a ton of different restaurants that are towards the front side of the Palladio over by East Midwell. So this is going to be the main area as it relates to Folsom, as it relates to some of your shopping that's going to happen here in Folsom.
Yeah, so the cool thing about Folsom, like we said, is you don't have to leave. So here you can do your back to school shopping. You can find just about everything you need right here. But there's also a second movie theater here, which is your standard movie theater where you can bring the kiddos, the family, and hang out and watch a movie.
So if you're from the area of Folsom or you currently live here, go ahead and comment down below what are some of your favorite things about Folsom, or maybe even some of the things that you can't stand about Folsom. Be nice, but tell us what some of the things that you can't stand about Folsom. And if you're thinking about moving or relocating to the area, comment down below what some of your questions are so we can make sure that we get those answered for you. So one of the other main reasons of why people really love Folsom, or one of the things that you should know about, is the employment here is pretty awesome. There are a lot of different employers that call Folsom homes. You have places like Intel, Micron Technology, Power School, and Kikkoman Foods. You also have CDCR, which is California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Folsom probably has the biggest draw because it gives you the best bang for your buck, but also having a more affordable living than, let's say, Southern California or other parts of the state of California. The other draw to Folsom is if you have to work in downtown Sacramento, you you only have about a 25 to 35 minute commute on the weekends, and if you have to commute down during the week, it's probably a little bit closer to 45 minutes. The drive's not that bad. The traffic moves still pretty well in the morning and the evening commuting hours.
So the other thing about employment too is if you work remotely and you work from home, but maybe you have to travel into the Bay every month or every couple of weeks, it's really not that bad of a drive because you are super close to 50 to get on the freeway to get yourself down there. Now jumping into our next topic, and one of the main reasons that a lot of people look to Folsom if they're considering moving here or relocating here is going to be the education here. Now Folsom has awesome schools that rank very well, and they're known for their sports activities. So in Folsom, you can find a great public education for your student. Now, the elementary schools, Blanche Sprentz and Theodore Judah, both rate a 7 out of 10 overall on greatschools.org. And Folsom Middle School rates a 9 out of 10 overall. Now, when you get to the high school level, you've got right now 2 different high schools. You've got Vista Del Lago, which is the newer high school, then you have Folsom High School. Both of these high schools, at the time of this video, both rate a 10 out of 10 overall on greatschools.org. Now, both of these high schools offer awesome programs, a great education. Folsom High School specifically is known for its football team.
Yeah, both schools are highly rated. Vista Del Lago is a little bit more impacted, primarily right because Folsom Ranch is being built.
Which kind of brings us into the next part of this. So right now there's only 2 high schools, but with all of the new development that's happening south of 50 at Folsom Ranch and Russell Ranch, they're going to be building a brand new school. So Folsom Ranch High School is set to open the fall of 2028, with its first year being the 2028-2029 school year. Now this school, the way that they're going to open it is going to be similar to how some of the other areas have opened high schools. It'll start with a freshman and a sophomore year, and then each year they'll add a following year. So as of right now, all of the homes that are being built in Folsom Ranch and Russell Ranch, those students are all being bused to Vista Del Lago. Now there is an elementary school that they just opened in Folsom Ranch last year that's Mangini Elementary. Now this elementary school is right in the kind of in the center of Folsom Ranch, so it's close to all of the homes around there. Doesn't have a rating on greatschools.org yet just because it hasn't been open long enough.
Yeah, so the education in Folsom is going to be top notch. It's one of the best areas in the greater Sacramento area as it relates to public schools. That's why it's going to lead us into our next topic, which is going to be housing. So the housing market and affordability in Folsom is going to be primarily driven by all of those topics that we just covered. It's going to be, your things to do, the livability factor, how much fun people have in this area, that people really like coming to this area. But it's also going to be driven by employment and education. So Intel and the CDCR being one of the main employers here, and the education being so top notch as it relates to public school districts, that's what's going to be one of the main draws as it relates to the housing and the different types of housing that you can find in Folsom. Now, Folsom is going to be above the national average as it relates to affordability. That's where the quality of life comes into place as it relates to the affordability in comparison to some of your other markets like San Francisco, Bay Area, San Jose, or even Southern California, Los Angeles, or San Diego. So in retrospect, higher than the national average, but definitely more in line or a little bit lower than what some of the other neighboring markets are going to be. At the time of recording this video though, the lowest priced home that's available for sale in Folsom is going to be listed at $539. It's going to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot home. Yeah, so Folsom having a little bit of something from everybody. You're going to have your tract style housing in your traditional neighborhoods. You're also going to have your luxury high-end living. You're going to have Broadstone, Empire Ranch, some of these other neighborhoods that are going to be your 3, 4, 5,000 square foot homes sitting on top of the hill that are going to be, north of $1 million, $2 million. So Folsom will definitely have a little bit of something for everybody. Now, one of my favorite neighborhoods is going to be the neighborhood that we're in right now. It's going to be American River Canyon. Now, American River Canyon is actually going to be located on the other side of the river. So the houses in here are going to be, I would say, more towards your higher end type of living houses that you would find in most of Folsom. But it is one of those neighborhoods where you are on the other side of the river, so some of the amenities, school districts, things like that, you're going to be a little bit farther away from, but some of these houses in here are absolutely amazing. It's going to give you that grand, kind of more luxurious feel as it relates to the different types of houses that are going to be in this neighborhood.
Now, my favorite neighborhood in Folsom is going to be Empire Ranch. Now, we were there this past weekend showing some clients some houses. They're absolutely beautiful. Some of these houses back up to the golf course. They're located all around the Empire Ranch golf course. You've got gorgeous homes that are a part of an HOA that offer a clubhouse, a fitness facility, meeting rooms.
They've got well manicured front lawns. That's kind of one of the cool things about the HOA is they do take care of the front yard landscaping in the neighborhood, so the neighborhood looks consistent and uniform. You don't have a lot of cars parked on the street. You don't have any weird neighbors painting their house super weird colors, so that's always a plus to an HOA.
Yeah, no pink houses in this neighborhood.
Not that we have anything against pink houses, by the way. So the affordability in this area is going to be higher than the Sacramento average, but you're still going to have a little bit of something for everybody, basically starting in that mid to lower 5 range, and it can go up from there. Now, if you're wanting new construction, that's going to be south of Highway 50. You're going to find a lot of new construction that's going to be located out in Folsom Ranch or Russell Ranch. And then they even have another new development that's going to be a part of their phase 3, which is going to be Folsom Heights. So if you're curious about Folsom, or if you're thinking about moving or relocating and you're wanting a little bit more information about Folsom, give us a call, shoot us that text, or send us that email, and we would love to help you out and get you that information. But if you thought that Folsom really wasn't right for you, also give us a call or shoot us a text or send us that email, or even better yet, schedule that Zoom call so we can hop on a one-on-one consultation with you, and we can actually get to know what some of your goals are, figure out a game plan, and figure out what's going to be the easiest way to help you move or relocate to the greater Sacramento area. So we're going to throw that number back on the screen. We are licensed real estate agents in the state of California, which means that as much as we love making these videos, we love helping you more with all of your real estate needs. So that phone number is up there. Take a screenshot, pause the video, write it down, or schedule that one-on-one Zoom consultation so we can help put together a game plan that's going to be right for helping you move to the greater Sacramento area.